Hey everybody, this is Richard. I'm the founder and lead developer at AlgorithmicTrading.net. So I wanted to do a video highlighting a few day trades that we got into recently, actually today, this morning. So right now the video is recording live, and we did get into 3 trades. You can see them right here, and this is the chart of the elite trader. But the elite trader trades these 5 different strategies, and what you'll see is that we bought right here on day trade long V1, right here on day trade long V2, and then the emerald bot right up here as well. And so this system trades all 5. It trades in $35,000 increments or unit sizes. And so if somebody had a 35K account, they would have bought 3 contracts right now. And our average fill is at around 45.29 and a quarter. So what TradeStation will do is it combines all 3, and you can see up here where it says the position is 3. That right now it's basically break even. It's up maybe $100, but it's moving quite a bit. So who knows where that'll end today. But the other thing I want to point out is we do have stops. So the stops are right here, and you can see them on the chart, and they're actually stacked on top of each other. So there's really 3 stops, and so if we're wrong on this trade, we're risking a little over $1,000 because each stop is around 7 points, $350. So we're risking about 1,000. Now what we could make though is can be actually pretty high, because if the market decides to rally today and take off, then we're going to be in 3 of these now, and we could get out of this one a little bit early, the emerald. But what these day trades down here do is once they get in, they pretty much stay in unless they're stopped out or the target is hit on the V2. Or the end of the day happens, and so it'll basically hold until the day ends. The emerald though, that one will actually potentially modify the trade as the day goes on, because it's constantly analyzing the market to say, are we in kind of an up moving market still? In other words, is it predicting that the market will continue to drift higher, or are we in some kind of a range bound market where it's going to drift higher, or is it going to drift lower, or possibly just sell off strongly? And so that's what the emerald algo does, is it kind of does this and kind of analyzes and basically determines what it thinks the market will do, and then it makes trades based on that. So right now we're still in the trade, and it's basically about break even. So let's just see what happens though. The day is still pretty early. The market equities have been open for only about an hour, a little over an hour. And so we have a lot of trading to go in the day, and we'll kind of see what happens here. I'll let the video run though, but let me do the risk disclosure. Remember that past performance is not indicative of future performance. Trading futures and options involves substantial risk of loss. It's not appropriate for all investors. And remember, I'm not a CTA. I'm what they call a third-party developer. So I offer the algorithms to be traded under a letter of direction. All right, let's see what happens. When I do the editing, by the way, I'm going to speed up the video. Hey everybody, so it's about 10 o'clock Mountain Standard, so that's noon on the East Coast, but I wanted to just jump in here and give a brief update. So as you've been watching in fast forward, of course, the S&P's really just traded sideways. It's gone kind of up and down, and there's nothing really that significant about what the market is doing, except that it is undecided. But the algorithms right now are still in this bullish condition. So the algos do think that the market is going to break out, at least as of right now. That could definitely change, but it does think it's going to break out. Now, again, I have no idea if it actually will, but that's what it thinks it'll do. Now, to talk about the elite trader here for a second, though, again, it trades these 5 strategies. I want to just show you some of the performance reports on the strategies that we're in right now. So one of them is this day trade long. And this is the equity curve for the day trade long V1. And if I click on this V2 chart, then it'll just pull up the chart for the V2. Now, if anyone ever wants any of these reports, you can just reach out to me and I'll get them to you for sure, because this is all just from TradeStation. But it does take a little while to load, but that's because we go all the way back to 1997. But you'll see in the performance report, it has a real solid profit factor of 1.49. It's had 930 trades going all the way back to 1997. The average trade net profit is $80. That includes the winners and the losers. So it does have about a 47% win rate. And for some people, they don't like that. But honestly, the win rate doesn't really matter as much as kind of the average gain per trade. So in other words, if when we're right we make $500 and when we're wrong on average we lose about 300, then that's a winning, that's a winning scenario. I mean, even if it's a coin flip. Now the reality too is that as you look at all the different trades we've had, we actually are able to make a fairly large amount on these trades. And so if you look here, the last few trades, we got stopped out of a trade yesterday. Before that, we had a gain of about 400. And then we had a few stop outs, but then we had this pretty big win right here, a couple more big wins. And so this algorithm really does do a pretty incredible job. And we'll see what it does today, but it continues to hit new highs. By the way, this algorithm was last optimized, the V1 was last optimized, I believe back in 2018, somewhere in there. And so it's been live for quite a while. Now the V2, what it does is and now I just clicked on the V2 chart. It does look like we're maybe trying to break out. So obviously that's great if that happens. And yeah, we did hit new highs. So far the algorithm has gotten it right. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens here, but we're still in 3 of these contracts. And so let's just kind of watch and see what happens. But if you look at the trade list for the V2, you'll see that eventually we'll run into there it is. So you got a trailing stop right here that triggered, and this is in 2022. And so you'll see that occasionally, and here's another one right here. So every once in a while the trailing stop will hit. Here's another one here. So that's the primary difference between the V1 and the V2. The entry logic is all the same. So they both get in at the same time, which is why we're in 2 from over here. Now the other algo that we're in is this Emerald Long. That's this one up here, and let me show you the report on this one. This one is another really great algo. What it does is it'll jump in at different times. In this case, it kind of followed along with the breakout algo. It bought just a couple minutes after the breakout did. Now there's nothing really significant about that except that it will sometimes play similar trades, but it does have its own kind of rules that it's looking at. But this one was optimized in November of 2022, so it's been live now for about 7 months, and it has continued to do really well since it was optimized. As you can see on the equity curve, it continues to kind of spike higher here. But again, you could look at the trade list on this one. There's a lot of data that I could show. It can almost be too much, but it also has a 1.45 profit factor. It has a, let's see, it also has about a 48% win rate, but the total number of trades is bigger at 1,400 here. Average gain is $55 per trade. So there's, the drawdown is really small on this one, only about 6,000. So remember, the way this works is you combine all 5 strategies into one. That's how you get the overall performance. And so, but this strategy here is the short algo. This one here is the Geronimo ES. It's an overnight one. This is the one I did a video on from this trade where we bought at the close and got out up here. This was about a $2,000 gain, by the way. And I like to share that just so that you can think in terms of a $35,000 account. So right now we're up $400 on these 3 trades, and that's again per 35K traded. And but yeah, we still have at least another, I believe, 4 hours before equities close. So these day trades will hold on until then. They'll hold on until then, and then they'll get out as the market is closing. The Emerald, we could actually see here if I drag this down, we should be able to see that. There we go. That it still believes that we're in a strong up. Yep, it does. So notice how these dotted lines, and I talk about this all the time, but there's no forward slash here. That means on this one right here, that means that it still thinks that we're going to be in a strong up market. And so, so far it's gotten that right. I mean, what it's expecting to happen is it will just keep hitting new highs throughout the day. Now, as soon as you get a forward slash right here, then it means that it doesn't think that we're going to be going strongly up anymore, but it could be a weak up. That's what this one is. So, yeah, so far it's doing the right thing. But hey, I'll stop talking. Let's just let the video run. And when I do the editing, I'll fast forward it. Next time I talk probably will be when the market closes, unless we get out of one of these early. All right, thank you again for watching, and let's see what happens. Hey everybody, this is Richard, and I'm jumping back in here because the market is going to close in about an hour. And so far, it's just added to the gains that we saw. So at least as of now, this trade is actually looking really good for the elite trader. Now, these algorithms are traded on other strategies as well. They're traded in the elite trader, in the trader plus, in the smart pivot. In fact, this day trade long V2 is traded in pretty much every strategy that we offer, or every system that we offer. And so, and the Emerald Long is in most of them as well. It's in the Trader Plus, the Paladin, the Noble, the Smart Pivot 2, Smart Pivot 3, and then of course the Elite Trader. So as it stands right now, we're up about $1,700 on the 3 contracts that we're long. So each one, I mean, you could do the math, but we bought it about $45.29 and we're up about 12 points. So each one is about $600. And so that's how you get to the 1,800 over here. And again, this just combines them all. But you know, this has been a really good day. Just remember that for sure, you know, again, I'm showing you the algorithms in a very positive light. We do have losing trades as well, but so far this is looking really good. We're going to see what happens as the market closes. A lot of times it will reverse, and that can be a little nerve-wracking for sure, because you know the desire is you want to lock in the gains, and especially when you have gains like this and then maybe you give them away on another trade, then there becomes kind of a recency bias where you get kind of worried about missing out, and so you almost want to get out early just to secure the gains. But based on the back test, that's usually the wrong thing to do. Now it depends on the strategy for sure. If it's a mean reversion, then it you know, a lot of times those do make more sense to get out. But with these kind of momentum day trades, every time I've run the analysis, it always makes sense to get out or to hold until the close. Now the only exception is there is a slight gain to be had if you have a target, but the target that this one uses on the V2 is pretty far out there. I mean, it's I believe it's still another, I think 60 points away. So it's a pretty big target. It's a target that is looking to get out if you just have an insane kind of rally. But I think I'll stop talking. Let's just see how it does now. We've got another 55 minutes roughly. And so hopefully this rally continues. But one thing I guess I will point out, if you remember at the beginning, I was talking about these lines and how the algorithm is thinking that we're in a kind of a bullish kind of phase or kind of bullish condition. Remember I was talking about that, and at the time I think the S&P, it was really just going sideways, and it almost felt like, wow, does it really think it's going to rally? Because a lot of times when it goes sideways like that, the algorithm itself, because of the different things it's looking at, will say, okay, it doesn't look like it's going to be a strong up kind of day, but it actually did, and there's a few reasons why. One was it kept making some new highs very subtly. So like here was one right here. Now it didn't hold it, but the fact that it was able to trade above the high from the first 30 minutes, even if it was just momentarily, that's a clue. And then these pullbacks that we saw, they lasted 30 minutes, which that can be a lot, but they weren't super strong. In other words, we never really went below the open, and so or the low of the day. I guess we did barely go below the open, but still these were really not that bad, very light pullback. So that's what this algorithm is looking at. Now, in the next hour, we're going to have another 6 of these candles. And I don't know, I mean, maybe the market will keep going higher, maybe it'll pull back, and this might give the sign that it doesn't think it's a strong up anymore. But as it stands right now, this algorithm has gotten it right. In fact, dead on, in a way that in a market that I would consider a little difficult to predict. In other words, sometimes it's easier to say when it's just making new highs all morning that, well, yeah, clearly this is a strong up. But when it's going sideways like this and it still thinks it's a strong up, clearly the algo was onto something. So anyway, that's all I got. Let's keep watching, and the next time I talk will probably be at the close, where I'll do a recap, and again, hopefully these gains hold, and if they do, it should be a pretty good day. If not, that's all right too. We'll live to fight another day. So thanks again for watching, and I'll go ahead and let the video run. Hey everybody, all right, so the market just closed, and what a day. On the Elite Trader, we made about $1,800 on the 3 trades that we had. This was a great day. At one point we were up a decent amount more, but the market did pull back a little bit. That's okay. That's how it works. Sometimes we're not going to get out at the exact top, But as far as the gains go on the Elite Trader, this is about a 5% gain that we saw, about $1,800 per 35K traded. It was just a really good trade. It went almost as perfectly as we could have expected. And in the beginning of this video, you'll see me talk about the different states, and it turns out that it got this exactly right. We were in a steadily uptrending market the whole day, and this algo was able to kind of detect that. So as far as the Elite Trader goes, I hope you enjoyed watching this video on these trades. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch it. Just remember that trading futures, it does involve risk. It's not for everyone. But if you're looking for kind of an alternative kind of algorithmic or automated trading system, then please reach out to my company. You can give us a call. You can fill out a form on the website. I'd be happy to give you a call and answer any questions you have. Thank you again for watching, though, and have a great day. Bye-bye.